الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائه من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهن 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن وأولئك وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا ذلك أمر الله أنزله إليكم ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويعظم له أجرا أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضاروهن لتضيقوا عليهن وإن كن أولات حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن فإن أرضعن لكم فآتوهن أجورهن وأتمروا بينكم بمعروف وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له أخرى لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها سيجعل الله بعد عسر يسرا وكأين من قرية عتت عن أمر ربها ورسله فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات ليخرج الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات من الظلمات إلى النور ومن يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا يدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا قد أحسن الله له رزقا الله الذي خلق 7 سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن يتنزل الأمر بينهن لتعلموا أن شيء علما.
As the gender war rages on, in order to bring the peace, we must discuss the exact facts. Welcome to Faktly. Assalamu alaikum. I am your host, Saad Imam. Topic: are we hauling baggage into our future relationships from our former relationships to the detriment of our new relationships? Is it mostly men? Is it mostly women? If so, is it fair to pre-penalize the next because of the ex? What if I would suggest pressing the reset button, meaning making yourselves vulnerable again, not going in guarded, but trusting. Guarded people aren't comfortable within themselves or with any situation. A guarded mentality is a stressed mentality. As the guarded ones, did it benefit from the heavy guard, or did it cause unnecessary worry and problems? Example, they'll say a cheater gon' cheat. So why spend the duration of a relationship trying to find signs of cheating? All because of the ex. Is that fair to the new person? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in one hadith, "La yudagu mu'min min juhrin maratain." La yudagu mu'min min juhrin maratain. The believer is never stung twice from the same hole. Imam an-Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi said the reason behind narrating the hadith is that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam captured Abu Azza, a poet, the day of Badr. He released him and made him promise not to fight or censure the Prophet again. He released him until he joined its people, then started over by censuring and attacking the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then he was captured at the battle of Uhud. He asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to release him again. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a believer should not be stung twice from the same hole, and commanded his Sahaba to execute him. Marriage is not war, and spouses are not our enemies. At this time, I'll bring on, inshallah, someone to give their side, their opinion, inshallah ta'ala. It's Sister A Nisa. Can you hear me, sister? You can hear now? I can hear you.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I can hear you. Can you hear me? You have nothing. It may be just kicking in. You might hear me later. Or you may have to re-click the link, inshallah. You want to try the link again?
I can't hear anything. If you can hear me.
Can you hear me? Inshallah. This is the problem with the with this. It's a problem with this setup. Inshallah. Let me try to. I heard you before. I can't hear you now.
Anything?
Okay. Well, try to re-click the link. I'll try to bring you back in. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Restart it?
Yeah, restart it. Yes, restart it. Inshallah.
I hear nothing.
Let's try.
Okay, let me see. What should I do?
Okay, click out. This is the problem with this digital world. There's a ghost in the machine. So the sister's going to try to click back in, inshallah ta'ala, and we'll see if we have a better connection. She's in the green room. Can you unmute yourself? Okay, well, she's not quite on yet.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you hear me?
Wa alaikum salam. Can you hear me? Okay. The mute.
All right, I'm going to have to go through my phone. For some reason, I can't hear you.
Okay, well,
I have to go through my. Oh, it's going to be a smaller screen.
Inshallah.
Give me a minute.
Inshallah.
Okay. I don't know if I'm over talking you or what, but let's see what happens. Let me hang up.
So we're working out the quirks, and as soon as these quirks are worked out, then inshallah we will have a fruitful discussion. In the pre-production, the sister was subhanallah, she had quite a bit of energy. She brought quite a bit of energy. So inshallah we will keep that same energy and carry this discussion. So she's going to try to come back in on her phone. Again, the guarded mentality is not one that allows us to proceed amicably with new relationships. This is my opinion. I think that women and men should make themselves vulnerable in order to give life, preserve, and raise the percentage of the next relationship actually working. I had one show that we were supposed to do. I was supposed to do a live, actually, that was titled "Give Them Enough Rope or Room to Cheat." Now, you may say, well, astaghfirullah, cheating is not from our deen. It is something outside of our deen. It's not something that believers should do, and it is haram. But that's not the point. The point is that you have to give your spouse, man, woman, male, female, you have to give them room to breathe. You have to give them room to breathe. And believe me, if someone is going to cheat on you, you cannot stop them from cheating. The man has to go out and work and earn. Even if he's at his computer desk and he is earning from his home, he is still occupied with learning. So therefore, you have to give your spouse enough room, even to cheat, because if they're going to cheat, you can't stop them from cheating. So inshallah ta'ala. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
So now keep your shoes off. Oh, okay. Yep. Come on this way. Yep. Go to your room.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to I'm trying to bring you in. This thing is subhanallah. None of these buttons are working. None of these buttons are working for me. Let me see. Let me try camera, add guests. Okay. You still can't hear me? Do you have it on mute? Is it on mute? Let me see. Okay. It says you're in, but I can't bring you in. This is not good. This is not good at all. Subhanallah. So let me see here. As I was saying, giving your spouse room to cheat, if they are faithful to their deen, they won't cheat. If they're faithful to you, they won't cheat. But hoarding over them and being overly suspicious, many times unwarranted, does not save your present relationship. So I advocate that couples, where individuals, when they go into a new relationship, to press the reset button. Become vulnerable. Put your trust, if you're a woman, put your trust in that man as your leader and your provider. Do all the due diligence before you marry them. But after you marry them, if you're going to go and guard it, then that relationship is doomed to fail. If you are looking for something against them or on them, you will find it. If you are looking for something in your wife or with your wife, you will find it. So, inshallah, we're trying to bring her in again, and we'll see how this works. Okay. This is some green room stuff. She's in the green room, trying to get her to... Can you hear me now? No? No sound? I can't hear you now. I can't hear you. So, this was supposed to work. Let me see. SubhanAllah. It's not allowing me to click any buttons. SubhanAllah. Let me see. Okay, let me get out of here, because this is messing me up. Okay. Now, why is that down there? Why is this window down here? I have a whole window down here. This might be the problem. This may be the problem. This is not quite working. SubhanAllah. Ya Allah, la ilaha illallah. Let me see. I have this window down here for some reason. I cannot bring the sister in. What is this extra window for? I did not open this window. So, it's not working. It's not working. Okay. SubhanAllah. Let me see. La ilaha. Do you have on the mute? The mute? Mute? I can hear you a little bit. I can hear you a little bit. A little bit. Okay, we're trying to work this out. Subhanallah, la ilaha illallah. System preferences.
I got.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I heard you loud and clear for a second. Okay. Okay. It says you have muted yourself. Say you muted. You're muted. You can hear me? I can't hear you. You're muted. Okay, hold on a second. You're muted. I can't hear you. Let me see. And I'm trying to bring you on camera, and I cannot bring you on camera. It says guest has muted themselves. Scene lock. Okay, let me try something else. Scene lock. Let me take the lock out the scene. Okay. There you go. Okay. I have you here, but I can't hear you. You're muted. You're muted. Okay, let me see. Oh, this is fun. This is real fun right here. I cannot get the mute off. Let me see. Okay. Sound effects. We're not doing that. I can't get the audio to work. So, oh, this is not good. It says you muted. It says you're muted. It doesn't say me. You mute. Okay, it said I muted the guest. Okay, let me see. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
I've been clicking it. I've been clicking the same thing.
Mine was because I had my Bluetooth on.
Okay.
And yeah, I had to turn off my Bluetooth in order to work it. Yeah, in order for it to allow me to hear you and me, and vice versa. Yeah, I had to turn off my Bluetooth.
You destroying my episode too.
Huh?
I said you're destroying my episode too.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry.
Okay. So did you catch any of the introduction? Well, first of all, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay.
No, I didn't catch.
Okay. My introduction was talking about that should people make themselves vulnerable for every new relationship, men and women, does going and guard it harm the new relationship? And because of what the ex did, should you hold that against the next? Again, my opinion was people should make themselves vulnerable enough. And just as they say, a cheater is going to cheat. How can a woman stop a man from cheating that's going to cheat? So why spend the duration of the relationship, stressed out, thinking they're going to cheat because your ex cheated? The same with the men. If you think your wife is going to do that, then you're going to be stressed out. You're going to be stressed out, and that keeps you from giving your all and becoming comfortable, and tranquil in your new relationship. So, and I mentioned that Muhammad said, "La yudagu mu'min min juhri maratain," the believers never stung twice from the same hole. And this was because he captured a man, Abu Azza. He captured him in the Battle of Badr. And he said, "Oh Prophet, release me." And the man was a poet. He used to say bad things about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Oh Prophet, release me, and I won't say anything bad about you again." So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam released him, then captured him again at the Battle of Uhud, because before the Battle of Uhud, he started back talking, making poems about the Rasulullah in the negative. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam captured him again. He said, "Oh Prophet, please release me. I won't say anything bad about you again." Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The believers never stung twice from the same hole," and he ordered his companions to execute him. So again, with this being said, I said marriage is not war. And your spouses are not your enemies.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying press the reset button. That man that hurt you prior, that new man won't hurt you the same way if he hurts you. So a relationship that broke apart because a woman was constantly in a man's phone, that may not be the same scenario with the next one. And it need not be. A woman that was caught, chatting with dudes in the DM while she's married to another Muslim man, that didn't mean the next wife is going to do that. So what are you guarding against? The unseen?
What stage are you talking about now? Are you talking about once married already, or are we talking about prior to getting married? Because I think that's really where the issue comes in at. Because I don't think you run into the same situations when you do due diligence and seeking out your partner. Number one, I think the issue, one of the underlying issues is that we don't respect each other's person. Men don't respect women. Women don't respect men. And we don't respect each other's feelings. I think that we do a lot of projection as women onto men about, we try to make them conform sometimes how we want them to conform to how we're feeling and how we're perceiving situations. And that's not always inherently how men think. And sometimes they have their projections onto us. So I think that's kind of fundamentally where we're starting at, where the mix-up comes in. Because if you're already getting into marriage, and you're having those same issues as before, I don't think you really did a due diligence in the beginning to try to isolate some of those things. So that's where I'm having a problem with. So for some reason, if we already skipped all that, now we're married here, should we be vulnerable? I say to a degree. I don't think you should be, I think you should be cautious and be aware of some of the red flags that have presented themselves in the past. Not saying to look for them, but you should be aware of them. You should have boundaries set. You should have a plan in place to know, how am I going to deal with this? And see, that's the problem, is that people are reacting out emotional unintelligence. People are not intelligent about their emotions or how to handle them. And they're going through a cyclic behavior and repeating the same issues, the same problems, and they're solving them the same way, and nothing's getting solved. And it's causing more breakdown, more division, and more war. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't think you should just be, I think every situation in the past is a preparation for the future. You can take the good of it, or you can take the bad of it. So if you take the bad of it, you're going to take that baggage, and you're going to, like you said, you're going to be looking for the same side. You're going to be looking in a pessimistic view as opposed to an optimistic perception.
The due diligence. We talked about due diligence prior. There is only so much due diligence as Muslims you can do. The kuffar are getting together, being engaged for 4 or 5 years. They get married and they still have high rate of divorce. So they could have been married those 4 or 5 years because they lived as if they were married. They shared bills, they shared residence, all of this. No, that's what I'm saying. They're doing that and it's still not working. So the Muslim, we don't do that. We don't shack up and things like that to try to get to know a person. Now, what are the 3 ways Omar radiallahu anh said, how do you know a person? You travel with them, you do business with them, or you live with them. Now, as Muslims, we tend to get married over the internet and through dating apps and things like that. Yes, we're doing that, but we used to marry our neighbors. We used to marry our cousins. We used to marry, from the next town over, and from tribe to tribe in the past. They got tribes today, but the point I'm making is that we used to do that, and we kind of knew each other. So when Allah says marry someone, in case of before divorce, get someone from her side and your side to discuss the matter, because you're not, if you're in that tradition of marrying people that you know, whether it's cousins or neighbors, whatever, you're in that tradition, then you got so many resources to keep it together. But the problem is we marry these strangers. Real life example, you say due diligence. Now, if I use my example, I'm a sucker. I used to fly around with a cape trying to save single sisters with children that have been abandoned and orphans. And it doesn't work. I've heard Kufar say, matter of fact, a Kafir today, I was listening to a show. This Kafir said, if you're going in, like they say, bringing something to the table, right? If you're marrying somebody because you feel sorry for them, you already started off bad. You did. Yeah, I did that. I put my cape in the closet. It's in the closet. I should burn it. Yeah.
Really wanting to save somebody. Let's just say you did, you wanted to do an honorable thing. You seen a sister who was out, down and out, on her luck or whatever the case was, and struggling. There's other resources to put in her place to better her as a woman and prepare her to become your wife. Because you're already taking in something broken and then going to turn around and complain about the pieces that are missing when you already took her as a broken vessel. You know what I mean? And just by taking her, you might not just be the magic fix. Men have a nature, women have a nature of wanting to heal and nurture, and y'all want to be Mr. Fix It. You think you can fix everything. But that's not always the case. Going back to due diligence and us not doing performing the way the Kufar, you're right. However, there is a process in place.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to get to know somebody's character if we're taking the time to know their character. You got your local imams. You can find out and be around their family. You can spend some months. You don't have to marry quickly. It says if you are pleased with their character and you are pleased with their deen, then marry and do not delay, or else we'll be spreading fitna in the world. But that doesn't, that in order to find out what their character is like, you're going to have to take some time and do some investigation. People want that snap back, get fast, get married quick, and microwave marriages, and then they end that way.
I know a brother from Morocco. He met, he was introduced to a sister that's Irish. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they met each other. I think it was a Walmart or something. And he asked for the wali information. They were married an hour later. They've been married 30-something years. See, when a person has deen, when two people have deen and they fear Allah Ta'ala, if they already have the attraction, it is sooner to look at somebody and to be attracted to them.
That's a key word. First of all, they were mature enough. People don't even know. Ask a person, you know what? Ask a person, what do you want? What do you want?
To get out the projects. I was kidding. Go ahead. Hey, look. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A lot of people themselves don't know what they want. Then ask them, tell me 3 good things about yourself. Tell me 3 bad things about yourself. If they happen to have something that they name, what have you done about those bad things about yourself? Or the dislikable or undesirable things about yourself? What work have you done in you?
Do you realize that my house is the way it is now? If I'm about to have guests, let's say someone says, hey, I'm about an hour away. I want to stop by and talk to you about something. Or stop by and share a meal with you or something like that. What is the first thing I'm going to do?
What, you want to straighten up, clean up?
Exactly. Even if it's clean, I'm going to start looking around, make sure I don't have no drawers on the floor, no socks laying around, no diapers, no, hold on. That's exactly what people do. So if you ask me, I'm going to give you a real life example. Now, people are going to be mad at me about this. I don't care. Uh, a Palestinian sister who I was uh, trying to get engaged to, because I was trying to speak to her wali, but he was a Palestinian man, and in game he had racist tendencies, right? He didn't, whatever racist tendencies, but nevertheless, I don't care about that. Like I told her, if he would have looked into my character, he probably found a reason not to marry you to me. But he looked at my skin, and I was in a newspaper after 9/11. I was in a newspaper, and I gave a talk, and they quoted me, and I was on the news and all that kind of stuff, defending the Muslim community about the attacks, and that's not from Islam anyway. So she's told him that, hey, there's a guy that flew in from San Antonio. He's now in Chicago. He wants to meet with you. Because she didn't want to tell him, hey, a guy's coming, because then he would say, no, I don't want to meet with him. Say, a guy's here already, and he wants to meet with you. This is in Chicago. I had family there, so alhamdulillah, I didn't waste my trip. So she said, would you like to see him? He said, yes. She showed him a black and white picture of me in his newspaper. He said, no Americans. Right? I said, people don't look at me and say American. They look at me and say N-word. They look at me and say, are you from this country, that country, or what have you? I have no idea where I'm from. But nevertheless, I have no idea where I'm from. I'm descendants of slaves, descendants of slaves. So anyway.
And go to ancestry.
And I told her, I said, he didn't call me an American. And she put her head down and said, yeah, he called you exactly what you think he called you. And she told me how religious her father was. And I said, alhamdulillah. I said, it's probably good for you. It's probably good for you that you don't marry me. I say, but, he should really clean that up. He should really clean that up, because she said he has a lot of black friends at the masjid. And what do Kufar say? I got a lot of black friends. I got one black friend, And he says a lot of black friends at the masjid. Yeah, because they have a distance and they're not trying to marry his daughter, So, again, this sister asked me a question. She said, have you ever hit a woman? Now, that could be an actual fight. That can be domestic for a spousal. That could be a police officer, right? There's a lot of scenarios that hit a woman. Knowing the facts of it, I told her, yes, I have. She said, I can't believe you told me that. I said, look, you asked me a question. I said, what am I supposed to do? Lie?
Right.
And that is the issue that we tend to go through. Hit a woman doesn't mean I abuse my wife. Hit a woman doesn't mean that my last relationship, the divorce was because of abuse. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that you're going to get hit. There were plenty of opportunities.
But it would definitely be a red flag, because I needed to investigate what made you.
I understand that, but I'm talking about the honesty. The honesty. Right. I answered her question. People don't do that. People straighten up before you visit. They don't show you how they normally live. That's where the wali comes in for the woman.
That doesn't mean you have to rush.
Yes.
The due diligence part is to wait and see the follow-up. There's so many other circumstances that you can be involved in, or business transactions. You can attempt to do something small business transactions together, and see how their temperament is. You can't keep up a facade for so long. There's telltale signs, but you got to be able to recognize them. You have to even know what you're looking for. How do you know what to look for if you don't know what to look for?
Do you know Imam Shadid Muhammad? He said that that one of the first things you should do is check their social media. People say, "Oh, this is social media. This is not real." Yes, your real self. The angels are writing. Why would the angels write if social media is not real? So you can be a whole, whatever on social media, but that's not really you. I guess you can be a Christian on social media, but you're really a Muslim, right? So
people have alter egos. I might be a little bit more.
Yeah, but Islamically, let's talk about Islamically, because Muhammad said, "Whoever has two faces in this life, Allah will raise them with two faces of fire in the hell in the next life." So, as Muslims, people can have alter egos, but not as Muslims. As Muslims, you are who you are. If you curse, you're gonna curse. You curse on social media, you curse. You can't say, "Well, I just curse on social media." You can't do that. It doesn't work like that. You have to maintain one face. And hopefully that face is of belief. But when a person is asking you questions about your past, not everybody's going to be forthcoming. So you can say investigate. Do you go into spying? Do you go into spying?
Why are we digging in the past so much? Why are we so
Because you
worried
said due
about that?
diligence prior.
No, that's not about digging in someone's past.
Okay,
It's
okay,
about it's about unveiling their character.
okay,
Pre-
okay. How
That's
do you
what
do that? How would you do that?
like I said, either interacting in some kind of small business, more talking.
Okay,
There's just different ways of basing scenario questions. Let me tell you something. I have about a 99 question. I'm not even playing. That goes over every facet of marriage and questions within them in subcategories that I could have thought of possibly that can come up in marriage or that would affect a marriage or affect us raising children or affect us in business or me working, just to kind of see the mindset of where they're at and see if that's something that's cohesive with what I want to build as well. You know what I mean? If
okay,
it meshes. See, the problem is that we meet a lot of good men. I met a lot of good men that came and wanted to marry me and great men. But I said no, because every good man or good woman ain't for you.
hmm,
Just because they're good, they don't have to be good for you. And that's where people get it messed up. They see a good man, or I've been asked to go into polygyny several times with great families. And I'm like, yo, they're the bomb. They're doing the bomb. But I didn't fit in a dynamic. You know what I
okay,
mean? And you have to realize that I might have meshed with the hubby, but I didn't mesh with the wife as well. You know, I might have meshed with the wife, but then I seen characteristics in the husband that wasn't pleasing to me, but he was just trying to be nice just to get me in, to get me, to get me on board or whatever. You got to see, and you got to see what people are loyal to their motives. People are loyal to their agenda. Now they see me, I hustle, I grind, I get, I do my thing, I take care of my dad. When I start showing the love and affection for my father more socially, it was to make people more aware of how to treat their parents, and I'm not perfect with it, but I strive. And just to try to revive that sooner about taking care of your parents in old age. After that, I had like 30, 40, 70-year-old brothers trying to holler at me. Like, you know what I mean? There's motive. People are true to their motive. So, like I said, every good person doesn't necessarily have to be good for you or you good for them. Sometimes you just got to let people go on and be good for someone else, and stop trying to hog up everything. Because that's when you mess it up. You don't give time to do due diligence and see if your characters mesh, to see if your personalities mesh, to see if your dreams and goals and ambitions mesh. If a woman is, I'm in the medical field. I'm trying to get something else started over here. I doing a little boutique on the side. If my husband is on another project, or my potential, let me say that, it wants to start up something, he's onto something different. And I can't give him that 110% backing. Why even go there if I'm going to feel slighted about my project continuing to finish doing what I'm doing? What about meeting somebody else that's also in the same field as I am, or also doesn't mind backing me or collaborating with me, and I still can give him that support, but not taking away from what my dreams and goals are as well too. You know what I mean? So it's about talking. People are rushing and not talking and figuring out who the other person
I
is.
think we went into a different thing. I think that after all of that, you did all your due diligence. After all of that, should you make yourself vulnerable, male or female? Should they make themselves vulnerable again, meaning they're not coming in uptight, carrying baggage that does not belong to that next person? That's what I'm talking about.
No,
Are they doing that?
they
Do you recommend them stay guarded?
they should come in with boundaries, clear boundaries.
A woman setting boundaries for a man?
Absolutely.
Beyond
And
Dean, what are those boundaries? Or
and
what could those
her
boundaries be?
whatever. Okay, there's a certain tone that I will not be spoken to in, because I have a father and I have brothers who have never raised them to holler at me in order for me to be obedient. So you're not going to be sitting here hollering and screaming at me, because I'm not going to allow it. Period.
I understand that. That can be considered a Dean thing. That can be considered
Okay.
a ding thing as well.
But I'm not getting into a woman trying to be the leader or the boss or any, I'm not doing that.
I
What I'm
understand.
saying that's not where I'm going with this. What I'm going is people need to set clear boundaries. You know,
So the not yelling at you, did that come from a previous experience?
I'm not. I'm gonna say in exchange, just a younger experience and not having healthy dialogue, poor conflict resolution.
Because you
We're not.
mentioned your father didn't do it, your brother didn't do it. So that is previous experience of not having that done.
I'm talking about the males in my life.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and that's the closest to me. I'm having interactions. My uncles don't do it to me. I
Okay.
don't. First, ex-husbands. Did I argue? Did we fight? Yes. Did we have poor conflict resolution? Absolutely. So if I see that a brother wants to be argumentative or making me seem like I'm difficult to understand or to get along with, I'm turned off. I'm cool.
What
I'm
are some
cool.
more? What are some more of those parameters that
Um,
you set up? Those standards.
some more boundaries. Let me think.
Because if it's not Deen 101 or Islam 101, then it has to be understood. I need you to fear Allah, and I'm going to fear Allah.
Right.
That means even if you don't have the information, like for instance, there was one sister who had her ears outside of her hijab. She wore them like that because she was from the Al Fuqara community and things like that. So a brother told another brother, "Hey, your wife is ears are outside the hijab. It got to be inside the hijab, so on and so forth." The brother said, "Okay, I got it under control." He said, "Now, this is serious."
Wife. First of all, you
Say it
don't need to be
again.
worried about his wife.
Well, Muslims worried about Muslims. You don't become not okay. If he saw the brother's wife being harmed, could he say, "I'm not worried about her"?
Being harmed, but okay, why don't you lower your gaze and get your eyes off her ears?
No,
First
no,
of
no,
all,
no, no. The fact is the ears are out. Before you can lower your gaze, you have to see it. Okay. The first look is allowed. The second one is haram, and also the look has to be something of ill intent and lustful. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a doctor and a woman says, "Hey, my arm is hurt," if I'm looking at her arm or her leg, whatever, with intent, that's different than looking at it in order to heal. Muhammad said there's no shame in medicine or in healing. So the point I'm making is that if a man sees a haram, Muhammad said, "Man yara," whoever sees man yara munkarin, whoever sees a munkar, a wrong, let them try to change it with their hands. If they cannot, let them speak out. If they cannot, then hate it in their heart. With that, like a yaraful iman, adaful iman, and that is the weakest of faith. So again, you have to witness it, and telling a man to lower his gaze when he sees something wrong, that doesn't solve the wrong. So I'm saying that the ears were out. The brother was correct in saying, "Hey, yahi, the ears have to be covered." And he's telling the man. He's not telling the woman. He's telling the man, the husband. So you can't say he shouldn't be worried about the wife. So
is the ears part of the face? Some people
Muhammad
don't think.
said in the hadith, the ears are not part of the face.
Oh, okay.
That's actually in hadith. So but the issue was she had her ears out, and
Okay.
but the brother already had the understanding with his wife that if I find something in Quran and Sunnah, then you will follow
Right.
that. If you find something, I will follow that because we both gonna fear
Yeah.
Allah. So the brother was about to have that conversation with her,
Mm-hmm.
but the other brother jumped in prior. He said, "Hey, I got this under control," you know. And sometimes you have to set that up because not everybody comes into the relationship, man or woman, with enough knowledge to live Islam smoothly. They come in and they learn that, oh, I'm standing in the prayer wrong. I joined the prayer wrong. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. And you learn just by living and by studying at the same time in application. So I'm saying, like, if it's not Dean 101, this is what I'm saying as far as the expectations, because if it's Dean 101, we should say something outside of Dean. Like for instance, yelling. Sometimes people yell. So if you say, well, that's not something that I want, then make sure that man knows that that's not what you want.
And not indeed, because we're supposed to speak to each other in the best manner.
But
And
we don't
yelling at each
all. Well, human beings don't always, and even the Sahaba would raise their voice at times. You know what I'm saying? Because they are human beings. That's why we strive. That's why it's called striving. Because if you already arrive, there's no need to strive.
Right.
So we all strive. We make mistakes, inshallah.
always an exception to the rule. Mine's is the rule. It's
not always.
Right. Always.
Not always.
It's not going to be a situation. Okay, his voice might get elevated. And I'm not going to be tripping like, don't you be yelling at me. But it won't be a continuous barrage of that's how you speak. Or speaking aggressively, or there's just certain boundaries. You know what I mean? I think there's a manner in which way you ask your woman to do something. You know what I mean? I don't.
And people are different. People are different in those aspects. They have different temperaments. But the issue is that is it healthy to bring into the new relationship a suspicion that you harnessed from the last relationship?
No, that's not fair. It's not fair to anybody to do that. But like I said, we come in with caution, period.
What is the caution? What is the caution?
You give everybody a first.
Check this out. Check this out. I don't go in any woman's phone. I don't go in any woman's phone.
I don't think that should be. I don't think nobody should go in each other's phone. For what?
Okay. I understand that, but I don't go in people's phone. It's not because I totally trust that person, but you know what? The phone contains things of other people's business that I'm not privy to.
You look for something.
I don't want to read a conversation between my wife and her friend. I don't want to know nothing about her friend. I'm saying I really don't. You know, I don't want to know about her hygiene. I don't want to know about her what she did last summer. I don't want to know about none of that. You know, and I stay out of that. Okay, in my phone, I have a lot of confidential information. People that may text me about this issue or text me about that issue or confide in me about this thing. And nobody else should see that. If you feel like you have to see that in order to trust me, then you need to move on. You know, you need to move on because
ready to throw the towel in. That's not. This is what my problem is. That's my problem. Yeah, it was at the height of something going wrong or a breakdown. You need to go ahead on, or I'm done, or talak. People play around with that too easily. Where this is when the breakdown is where the re-educate. You're supposed to be leaders.
No, so a brother. A brother tells me from his own mouth. He says, "I have AIDS." So brother's a new brother to the community, right? Mm-hmm. He confided in me and told me, "I have AIDS." Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm mentioning something extreme. This is true, but extreme, right? Mm-hmm. This is that brother's business. He's not trying to marry anybody in the community. Never did. Okay? And he passed away, right? The brother told me that. If that was a text, and let's say a woman was suspicious of me, I want to read all your texts because my last husband, you know, whatever. This, you know. So she goes and she reads his brother's business. You know? That's the issue I'm saying.
He's wrong, but I mean, is that enough for a divorce though? You want to get rid of your wife for a
look. The community's confidentiality is bigger than her attitude because of her ex-husband. It's bigger than that. And if I say don't go in my phone because of that, don't go in my phone. I'm gonna leave my phone out. I'm leaving it out. Don't go in my phone.
He shouldn't have been. But is it bigger than her role? Is it bigger than your love and your duty to educate her? Is it bigger than you helping to divide the community further and sending out another broken woman, another
sister? She came in broke. Check this out. You said you don't want a man yelling at you, right?
You accepted her broke.
You said you don't want to. Well, sometimes you don't see brokenness because they wear hijab. But check it out.
Sometimes you don't see it because of what you're looking through, the lenses that you're looking through. Take off your glasses, you can see properly.
I don't want to take these off right now.
Well, then you don't want to see clearly.
Okay, check this out. You
like looking at the tinted version.
Check this out. You said you would tell a man, I don't want you to raise your voice at me. I don't want you yelling at me. Okay? That's not something I'm accustomed to. It's not something that I desire. Right? Okay. No. I would say that because of my position in the community and my relationship with the Muslims in the community, my local community, not the idiots online that make up scenarios and run with them as if they're hot. I'm talking people that actually know me. So I have relationships, right? MashaAllah.
Yes, ma'am. Listen, I'm sorry about that, brother.
No, you got my scenario. I'm saying that I have relationships with the community.
Right.
If I say don't go in my phone for that particular reason, you're not privy to that information. If you don't trust me, don't be with me. But you can't go in and read Muslims' business, because when it gets out, you know what happens to my reputation in the whole community? Don't go to that brother. Don't go to that brother.
Right.
Don't go to that brother, because he's going to tell your business. And it could be my wife that did it. So where's the priority?
Let's see here. I agree 100%. She shouldn't be on the phone, but I still don't think it's warranted for that time to. I mean,
you're looking at it from a woman's point of view, because I'm telling you, community confidentiality is bigger. If she can't control herself because she's coming off of some other scenario, then this is not going to work, because obviously she agreed to it before we got married.
But there's signs that you've seen before you putting that. First of all, okay.
No, it's not about signs. It could be a new relationship. The signs are what she saw prior to me. And I can go on my phone right now. I have a meeting with a brother and a sister tomorrow. That's not anybody's business who that people are in the content. So if I tell a person, look, don't go on my phone for this reason. If you can't trust me, you can kick rocks. You say, oh, the divorce. Yeah, the divorce is not worthy. It is worthy. You ruined my whole name, my whole reputation for years.
Cannot trust, brother. If you cannot trust, there is no us.
Almost 30 years.
What?
Almost 30 years of community service and reputation. I can't ruin that over one person.
You can't argue about that. If there's no trust, there's no us. But it's build up. It just doesn't happen. She just doesn't. Women are just like, okay, well, let me just go in his phone because I just want to see something. It's just, no, it's not usually like that. It's usually something that precedes it, untrustworthy behavior, something that you say. It doesn't make it right.
You're talking about a woman. You're talking about a woman, though.
About a man.
Oh, okay, but that's the other man. Again, look, hold on. I got one for you. Okay, I have. Listen, I have my phone. Wait a minute. I have my phone, right? I have my phone. I have my phone. I text somebody. No, hold on. I have my phone. I text somebody. After I finish texting, I usually put my phone down. Okay. My wife walks in right then where I hit the last button. I put the phone down. She might walk in. I'm not saying it's a real life situation. I'm saying she walks in, this hypothetical, and she says, why did he put his phone down as soon as I walk in? It was timing.
No, wrong.
That's not timing?
First of all,
I'm there. I'm telling you the situation. You're telling me it's not the situation?
Be part of the show?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
If she's thinking about you like that, and she's on suspect, as soon as she sees you put down the phone, you've been had a problem. There's been trust issues.
But that may not be about me, though.
That didn't just start then, and that wasn't the first time.
That's the subject is bringing in baggage from past relationships that harms the next because of what the ex did. I'm telling you that it may not be me. I'm telling you, I'm talking about women. Maybe you don't know women like I do. I'm telling you about women. You put your phone down at the wrong time.
I don't know woman as a woman.
I'm joking. I'm being facetious. I'm joking. Okay, but I'm saying that's the way it works. The last man put the phone down at the wrong time. So now let's say we just finished our honeymoon. Okay, we finished our honeymoon. Woke up the next morning. She comes in, finna tell me about the breakfast, and I put my phone down at the wrong time. That's going to bring back old memories.
This is weird to me. You know why? It's real.
But it happens, real life.
You know, it does happen. Yeah. But why at our age, maybe these younger people doing this stuff, but at our age right now, and you couldn't pick up those signs before marriage, that she got some serious. That's your lack of due diligence. Because she gonna show those kind of weird little signs and phone call. Well, why you didn't call me back? I called you back. I called you to the. It's not gonna.
First of all, that's women, and I don't do all of that before marriage. I mean, as a Muslim, I'm not going to do all that before marriage.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So she's just not going to start just and go pick up the phone, and that's the first sign of her cray-cray. Because y'all so infatuated and want to get to wherever point you want to get married, you know, that you don't want to. We bypass over the things when we want somebody and we see all the ooey gooey stuff in them, and that, you know, we want to get to the honeymoon phase or whatever. We tend to let the things that really trigger us or really are signs. We tend to skip over those things, and those are things we need to be paying attention to and investigating more. Because if you don't like that, you know, well, you know, why you didn't call me back, or that's suspicious, it's going to pop up somewhere is what I'm saying.
But it doesn't have to come prior, though. It doesn't have to come prior.
There's no way.
People tend to act different when they get comfortable.
Hey, homie, there's no way. If you don't know what to look for.
You just a baby. I've been living this. I'm telling you.
To look for. I could be a baby. The babies teach baby. Younger people teach adults. You know what I mean? Okay. It takes a leader to be a good follower in order to be a leader too. So at some point we all got to follow at some point, but at the same, and we all can learn. You learn a lot from the babes. Okay. But what I'm saying is, in age, you know, it's experience too.
Before I go to the comments, let me make a statement.
I can't see anything.
Okay, I can see them. Before I go to the comment, I'll read them to you.
Okay.
A man. You mentioned a man like to be fixers. That's what men are. Men are fixers. Men build countries. Okay, the infrastructure of every country is built by a man. There's no woman. There's no Amazonia where women built structure. Okay, men build structure. So men are indeed fixers. Men are also leaders. Men feel like they can pull somebody from behind a dumpster and make her a queen. And if a king met a woman behind a dumpster, she becomes a queen. If a queen inherits queenship from her father, every man she married won't be a king. No man she married will be a king. Her offspring can become a king. These are the rules. So this is what I'm saying. Men are leaders. Women tend to also think they can fix men. Some women won't marry a man unless that man has a plan, or they have a plan for that man, or that man has potential to do what? You know, some men are plumbers and they want to die a plumber. You can become a millionaire as a plumber. You know what I'm saying? You can become a millionaire as an electrician. You can become a millionaire as a carpenter. It's actually real life, because I'm all of that. I'm an electrician, carpenter, and I'm a plumber. Okay? You can become a millionaire like that. I can build a house. I can build a whole house. Yeah. So the point I'm making is this: but I don't want to be a millionaire. I mean, I don't strive for it. You know, as long as my kids are taken care of, my wife's taken care of, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, here's the issue. That's the man's role. So yes, men have that mentality. I'm telling you that me, myself, and other Muslim brothers have met women that were not Muslim, gave them dawah, sent them to the masjid, was there to give them books, so on and so forth. The women became Muslim. Sometimes the marriage happened first, then the women became Muslim. Like, so easy. Then you come across...
Pause. For what reason? Usually 9 times out of 10, they became Muslim for that man.
No, there's no 9 times out of 10. No, look. Okay, hold on.
I need something to get to speak or something.
No. I'm gonna give you time to speak. But the statement you made was a false statement. You said that 9 times out of 10.
When they marry like that, when women come in through the deen, through their husband, when Muslim men go out and meet these non-believing women, and then they take their shahada, alhamdulillah, and become Muslim, and that marriage doesn't work, that hijab comes off, and they go right back to their...
You said 9 times out of 10.
Al-Nisa's figures from what I'm seeing.
Is that where you're from, or is that the world? Is that the world?
Let's take a poll. let's take a poll. Take a poll.
Because a lot of men become Muslim because of friendships. Women become Muslim because of friendships and marriage. I'm saying men become Muslims because they want to marry a particular sister. They actually do. This happened in the time of Rasul Muhammad Sallam, and it happens today.
But the exception to the rule, that's not normally.
No, we're not talking about exception. Allah allowed a Muslim man to marry a Jew or Christian woman because the man is the leader. And women tend to be malleable into what the husband is on. This is good natural women do that. Women today are on their own independent legs. And therefore, it's hard for a man to deal with them because it's almost like man another man sometimes.
What was the condition of these women that were permissible to marry?
We're not going to go into that on this particular show. But it's really easy. It's easy if you listen to the opinion of Omar radiallahu an and the Sahaba radiallahu an. It was easy because the Sahaba married non-Muslims. I'm saying so.
Are they virgin, untouched, believing?
No. They were not virgins. There's no evidence for virgins. There's no evidence for it. There's no evidence for it. Allah says musanat. Musanat comes from the word husn, which means a fortress. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that another time.
You didn't allow me my point. Women that marry brothers, they come to their husbands, and that marriage doesn't work out. Majority of them leave.
You said 9 out of 10. That is high.
That's how I feel. Let me be fair.
I have actual facts that I know of from eyewitnessing that 9 out of 10 is incorrect.
Let's say, okay, I'm willing to come down. I'm willing to say
7. No. I'm talking about reality, not come down. I'm talking about start on the reality and end on the reality.
I'm saying it to make it drastic. You're pinpointing me to factual numbers that I don't have. That I'm admitting I don't have.
Those are your numbers, though. Those are your numbers.
But they are representing what they represent for me, if I may. For me, that it's high.
You realize that's a woman's nature, right?
What?
A woman's nature is to be malleable. The modern day woman is coarse.
But that's okay. But you know where it's wrong on the brothers? Because you're not doing your due diligence in teaching and leading them. You're not doing anything but.
Well, I don't know those brothers. The company I keep are not like that. I don't know those brothers. And if I find those brothers, I talk to those brothers. But I'm telling you, that's not brothers. That is anecdotal.
Well, the brothers that claim to be Muslims that are doing these things are doing a disservice to those women and to this ummah.
I don't know if I'm going to heaven. So you're talking to the wrong person. But let me get to the comments, inshallah. Brother Isam Muhammad said, "Walaikum salam, brother Isam Muhammad." He said, "Assalamu alaikum." Okay. Brother Isam Muhammad said, "Maybe I'm wrong, but I think a lot of people only know how to function in bad relationships." That could be true. That can be true.
Yeah.
That can be true. Okay.
If I can elaborate. People function in dysfunctions. You know why? Because they haven't had,
they're used to it.
A good representation of what a healthy family looks like, what a healthy marriage looks like. And they're coming in with their own broken pieces, environment shape.
Single moms.
Huh?
Single moms.
Single moms, broken dads.
Broken dads.
Yeah. Daddies that boys, broken men that didn't have a father in their life.
Broken by the system. Well, single moms. We're back to single moms again. Because more than likely the Calvin system gives them to the mom. That's not what Islam says, but that's what the Calvin system does. So therefore, the cycle is there. You blame it on the men who came from single moms, who a lot of times cause that child to be fatherless.
And then there's a strong media.
I'm a representative of that. My mom caused me to be fatherless. My mom did that. When I finally met my dad when I was 20, he told me what happened. He reminded me. He told me how I was dressed on a certain day. He came to see my mom, ran him off. Told me about another day. It happens. It was not any fault of his own, except she made a bad choice.
I'm sorry that was your experience. Well, my dad was the other one. He couldn't have the apple tree. He didn't want the apples.
Yeah.
People see what they see, but they didn't see the 5 years that he wasn't around and didn't pay no support.
Yeah. I understand.
That's that's my homie, right? I'm his last born. That's my ace boon cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Take care of him and I'm gonna love him, but I'm not gonna forget what my mother had to go through because of what he couldn't maintain. That's real rap.
I just received.
And I'm the mother. Hold on a minute. I'm the mother also that, you know, with my son, I raised an only boy. I was rough around the edges because that's what I see. That's what I knew. A lot of masculine traits, a lot of, you know, just hustling, busting, trying to survive, trying to work, trying to, you know, balance everything, trying to be both parents to them. And you can't teach I can't teach a man how to be a man. I can just teach him to be the best human being possible. You know what I mean? But me keeping him in his dad's life, but dad chose the streets. You want to hustle and deal drugs. I made a decision. We ain't doing that. We're not, in order for me to try to save my son, save my family, we're not doing that because you're making bad choices. So it's up to a mother to have that protective nature too. So it's not always, oh, she's keeping her son away, she's keeping the kids away. Why is she keeping them away?
Yeah, but that's really specific. But
right.
Like for instance, I have a little boy in Georgia right now, right?
Right.
I can never have my son, like, you know, raise my son. I can never have my son. She just remarried. I still can't have my son. Even when she, you know, whatever she was doing, I still can't have my son. I just received a letter from the Georgia Department of Children, of Human Services, whatever it is. It says that you're not required to pay child support. Now, I've been sending Cash App, but she said, the letter says I'm not required to pay. Now, you know what that's about? She doesn't want, because if she put me on child support, they're going to give me visitation. And she doesn't want it. She don't want me to see. She don't want me with my child. She wants.
When have you petitioned to have your child?
No. I'm not putting that out. What I'm doing as far as my side, I'm saying the letter I received. The letter I received. And hold on. This is the issue. This is the issue. No rights, but I get pictures. I send Cash App. I get pictures. And that is the issue. Now I know he's a baby right now. At a certain time when he becomes, you know, he's going to need me to make moves for his safety. He's not in a good situation right now. He's in a good situation to take pictures. He's in a pit. You ever see those good pictures? It was a picture of this family. It was a man and a woman, and they had 2 kids. Beautiful pictures. This dude killed his wife. His wife said, "I'm going to leave you." He killed his wife.
Oh, I know people.
They say in front of the kids, but this is what I'm saying. The pictures look good. So. Right. I'm saying so people look good in pictures, but right. The point I'm making is that's not me being deadbeat anything. When she remarried, she should have gave me my son. I'm saying she should have gave me my son, even especially if after 2 years, especially if you're not breastfeeding, especially if this and that, all these different scenarios. So the point that I'm making is that every situation is its own unique animal. The commonalities are that the system. And even she even told me, she said Georgia is a mama state, you know. So she's already setting it up. Now I get a letter. I don't have to pay child support. That letter is about, that's how much she don't want me in my son's life. So how is he going to grow up, and what woman is going to be punished by that? You see what I'm saying?
Interject real quick. What you just said, something that you triggered something in me too. So when my mother remarried, she gave my brother. Mm-hmm. They want all of the boy, gave my brother to my father.
Yes.
Which was the Islamic thing to do.
Yes.
You get a new Muslim husband, whatever, but the children they're supposed to go to their father.
Yeah.
He did what that was, weaponized that. Mm-hmm. And it was a long time before she got to re-see her son again.
Okay.
Because he's bitter about the situation of not being able to have her and his children. Because she's moved on. It's not always, you know, there's always more. There's 2 sides.
That's less than 9 out of 10. That's less. And nobody. Look, no. Hold on. Nobody's behavior changes the Islamic standard. Nobody's abuse of Islam changes the Islamic standard. This one imam said he would not marry a man to a second wife in his masjid. His reason for that, because his one brother did something wrong. So he changed the rule for everything. Islam doesn't change like that. So anecdotal occurrences and points and evidences are not what changes Islam. If your father did that, if your father did that, that doesn't change the Islamic standard. You have to stay with the Islamic standard, because men are going through it. Men are going through it. Nine out of
Muslim man that claims to be Muslim man qualified. Let me tell you about real quick. Let me ask you about this situation.
Anecdotal.
But let me just ask. But it's anecdotal. But let me tell. What kind of mother? Let me ask you a question first of all. Okay, so I know this mother. She has about 5 children with the same man. Finds out that her husband is a homosexual, but he's still practicing and praying and doing stuff. Is she supposed to give the children to him?
Anecdotal.
I'm asking. That doesn't change.
Of course, you don't give your children to homosexuals. Of course, you don't.
But what? How can she prove it? She didn't prove that. You have to have 4 witnesses that they're doing.
No. A wife doesn't have. If a wife knows, I ain't talking about rumors. I'm talking about suspicion.
Facts.
No. If she knows, Allah says in the Quran that the witness of a wife is enough, and the witness of a husband is enough. You don't need 4 witnesses, and that he can swear 4 times by Allah that he's telling the truth, and the 5th time invoke Allah's curse upon himself, and his wife can do the same. Now, whichever one goes to that 5th swearing, where they invoke Allah's curse upon themselves, then you have to drop it. You have to drop it after that, because this person is cursing himself to the hellfire. You can't cross your fingers behind your back like a kafir. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Is your Bluetooth on? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Your sound is off. Okay, you muted yourself again. You muted yourself. Take the Bluetooth off. You're muted. You're muted. You muted the get. You're muted. Oh, okay. What? Go out and come back in. Yeah, she's going to go out and come back in. Okay. Isa, Muhammad, I'm going to read your other 2 comments, inshallah ta'ala, as soon as the sister gets back, inshallah ta'ala. As soon as she gets back. Somebody called her and it bumped her out. So, subhanallah. I'm going to try to get her back in the chat. Back in the chat. Inshallah ta'ala. I don't know what's going on with this live. I might have to edit it as a video file and chop it and then bring it back, inshallah ta'ala. That's what I may have to do. So alhamdulillah, the conversation is fruitful. I'm trying to keep it focused on, should a person press the reset button? It seems that the sister is of the opinion that, yes, press the reset button. Don't hold the past relationship against the new man, but watch the signs. See, that still sounds like the person is being guarded. That still sounds like the person is, that person is bringing in baggage. That's not pressing the reset button. I am going to remain. I'm going to remain vulnerable because I'm not spying on anyone. I'm not going to spy on anyone. I'm not going to be going through people's phones. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that energy. My time will be spent living my best life. That's going to be me. Subhanallah. La ilaha illallah. Okay, she's back. Stop being so popular. Getting phone calls in the middle of the. So let me finish the comments from Brother Isa. Brother Isa Muhammad said, a good relationship makes some people uncomfortable. Okay. I've witnessed that I've heard people say this. Women say that it was going too well.
Yeah.
They got suspicious because it was going too well. Now, what was that? That was about the ex, not the next.
No, it wasn't.
What was that about?
It was about not knowing. It was about not knowing how to feel treated, feel good, and be treated good. It was not being used to love, not being used to yeah, Ma, I'm sorry.
I'm going home now. She's gonna take.
Inshallah. And, come on, give me a hug. I'm sorry, y'all. It's my mama.
No problem, no problem.
Up at 8
Okay.
o'clock because my phone is late.
I love you too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have fun?
Yes. Yes.
Mashallah. You gonna come back tomorrow?
That worked out fine. Oh, tomorrow I got 3 or 4 visits.
Okay. Inshallah.
All
right. So maybe the next day we'll do something.
Yeah.
All right. Love you. Assalamu alaikum.
Love you too.
All right. Thank you, sister, for taking her. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Mom said assalamu alaikum. She said.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Okay, so yeah, it's usually because she's not used to being loved. When you're not used to something, you know.
You're proving my point.
Huh?
That came from previous.
Okay.
You proved my point.
Okay.
Now, who's more likely to bring in baggage, men or women?
Women.
Yeah.
We carry more.
Yeah.
We carry more. We carry more because we are left with more. You can't hear me?
I can hear you. I'm saying it's mental. It's mental.
Ask her up front, please.
They're in your car, right?
Inshallah.
Okay.
Ask the sister. She'll go get them.
All right.
No, not just necessarily. When we get left, men move on quicker. Men transition quicker. Women are left to carry more of the load. More of the.
Men can have 4.
What?
Men can have 4.
Yeah.
A lot of times when they say men move on, a man can have 4.
Right.
So it's a whole different scenario.
So why would you have more baggage? You have more resources to let go of your baggage. We're there to carry it. We carry our emotions in our gut.
Okay.
You know, that's the core of where we carry all of our emotions and our feelings. So we carry a lot. You know, so yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't think. Yeah, we bring more baggage to it when we bring it. When we don't have to unload it, no. When we don't unload it, yeah, we do.
Brother Isa Muhammad said, an independent woman means a lonely woman. Well, I posted a quote from Kevin Samuels. I have a lot of issues with him because I'm Muslim, you know. But like I said, if he says something that's true, statistically, then you go with it. But he's talking about Kafir life. He's not talking about Muslim life. But the Muslims are following the ways of the kuffar, so therefore it starts to affect us. Now, a lot of these women, they say they try to put themselves in a position of independence. Then they say, now I'm gonna get a man, you know, and then they can't find a man, and they think that that's the men's fault.
Oh, I can tell you why for that.
Okay, explain.
Because we're used to not meeting men of good quality leadership. Why do you think we?
You think they want leadership? They're independent. What independent woman wants leadership? That's an oxymoron.
We had to become that. We were kind of cultivated in becoming that way after being disappointed so long.
Baggage. See, we're back there again. We're back.
It takes giving somebody a chance in order to accumulate the baggage. We didn't just get baggage out the sky. You had to be with somebody and try in order to get the baggage.
But that has nothing to do with the new man. He didn't do that.
And what does that have to do with her being somewhat independent? I'm not saying completely independent, but listen, okay. A woman that's completely dependent on her husband and doesn't have any skills for herself, that's dangerous. That's dangerous for the marriage. That
has no skills. What if her skill is being a woman? What if her skill is being a natural woman, which all men desire? Which all men, only users want a woman with a high income PhD. Only users want that because they. I don't believe that.
I think builders want it too.
Builders. How many 50-50 relationships are based on the woman making that much money?
I don't know that language.
We bought a house. We put it. I'm telling you, splitting the bills. When
I don't
men
know that.
seek a woman, now it's nothing wrong with marrying a woman like that, but when men
I,
seek a woman like that, the
I don't know
majority
that.
of them are users. Majority of
I
them are
don't.
users.
I'm done doing that. I don't do that language.
Oh, you would do it.
No, no, I would not. You got me.
You're a woman. You would do
I'm
it.
not. No, I'm not part of no 50.
Perhaps I'm wrong.
Missy, yeah, you're wrong, brother. Don't put that information out there about me. Get somebody's feelings hurt.
Okay. Well, Isa Muhammad said the word independent literally means isolation.
I don't think it's healthy to be. I think it's healthy if you have to be, but not because you're striving to be. I'm independent right now because I have to be.
But men don't desire that.
That's just
Men
other people.
desire vulnerability.
Uh, no, I got no. I you know what? That brother was inquiring about me. Who was an engineer and doing very well and was
Okay.
pushing. I want you to continue to go to school, continue to do what you're
Yeah,
doing,
we'll keep you busy. That's good.
continue to build yourself up.
Yes.
Because he likes to wanted to hear my goals and didn't mind, didn't mind it. It's just I think men that are insecure somewhat. I think men that are insecure don't want their women to be like educated or have skills or let me tell you, listen, let me ask you a question. So another scenario. A brother I know married 7 children with his wife. One wasn't his, 6 were his. Family business, took care of it. She worked within the business, but only knew a certain portion of it, only the part that she did, but not really the backdrop of what he did and how it functioned and everything else. Fast forward, brother goes to jail. 7 children now in the system. She don't have no way to take care of him because she had no skills in the 18 years that she's been with him. The only skill she had is what he allowed her to do within the business because she never had to work outside the home.
Okay,
No,
but hold on.
I don't recommend that for any woman.
Hold on.
Even
How many times does that happen? Again, we're back
oh,
to anecdotal. How many times does that happen?
plenty when you talking about these brothers. Oh well, we don't like our women to work and we don't want them educated and we
I'm
don't want.
talking about what men want. And
I think
women
that
have to stop looking in the phones, listening to conversation. They have to start listening to what men are saying, what they want.
I'm
Now,
definitely.
hold on. You be in a career medical field, that doesn't intimidate men, okay? But let's say flashback before, back when you were having a children and things like that. Okay, a man knows that the mother is so important, especially in the early years of the child and throughout the child's life. It's important that the mom be there and that they shouldn't be passed off on a daycare. If there's no family to watch the child, it should be passed off on a daycare. Why? Because you'll be watching MSNBC or CNN and you'll see your child on camera getting abused. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we've seen it too many times with nanny
The
cams in the
but your
home.
first should be in the home. The first place should be the caretaker and the nurturing of the home. I
Yes,
don't.
yes.
No. That's not
So
what I'm
so so
saying.
should so you agree a woman? So you're saying a woman should go and get her degrees and stuff before she gets married,
Yeah, she
so she
can.
can
Yeah,
protect herself, right? Guess what? These
yeah.
women are lonely. They can hardly find husbands.
Mm.
Now the white ones don't have too much of a problem.
I don't think that has so much
The
to do with
Mexican
men
Americans don't have too much of a problem. I'm talking about America. The black
education.
ones have a big problem. They're not finding
Why?
husbands. They're not finding
Why?
husbands.
Why?
They got the choice. The world is their oyster. The world is their oyster. They could go and find a husband anywhere. They don't have to be limited to black men and stuff for the law.
Black
But they're
get the
not finding husbands.
black women get the ugliest treatment and the worst and the least protected.
I don't
We
think that. I don't think that. I don't think that's
on
true.
the bottom of
I don't think
listen, we're
that's
on the
true.
bottom. No, because you're always stereotyping us as oh loud and oh as arrogant and oh as disobedient.
So
Oh, white
when you see loud, you don't see black women as loud. Not all.
culturally we can't be
No,
here.
no. They don't have the people that's like that don't have a culture because they don't do that in Africa. That's not in Africa.
You crazy? Have you been to Africa?
Yes,
Have you? Okay,
yes. I wasn't all look. No, nobody's been all over Africa except white folks.
no, I've
I
been
haven't
to
been
Africa.
all over. I've been to Africa. Yes.
I've been going since 2014 and
Uh,
married 2
uh,
Africans. Do not tell me that these women are not loud. When they're listen. Let me
No,
finish,
no.
please.
Conversation. I'm talking about attitude. Go ahead.
I'm done.
No, go ahead. Because Africa's a continent 3 times the size of America. There are many countries in Africa, so you can't say Africans are. You can't say that.
Culturally, they're different completely. You can't even compare.
Which one?
You can't,
because they're not the same.
East Africa, West Africa, you cannot.
They all the same.
No, I'm not saying all the same.
Then,
family-wise,
then we can't say Africa.
Oh my God, brother!
You got to say Sudanese, Somali.
Brother, I'm not gonna have this conversation if I can't say anything.
Okay.
It's frustrating. Get a thought across.
Go ahead. I'm serious. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that culturally, they're different than us, period. The hierarchy of respect, the hierarchy of family, it's much better over here than the Western world. So that is not even in comparison. You could say all of Africa for that. Okay. But what I'm saying, I just lost my train of thought when we were talking about
the loud women, the loud women.
Oh, change. We're not talking about no, they're not argumentative so much with their husbands, but they can be loud. I thought you meant conversationally, like loud in general is what I thought you meant. Because in general, yeah, but not with their husbands. No, they're not.
I'm talking about hands in the face, want to fight, clapping in the face, doing this here. Where does that come from?
You're doing ghetto ratchet then, and every black woman does not represent ghetto ratchet. I'm sorry.
I know. I've seen
hood boogers that you might be talking about, but you're not talking about.
I've seen
self value women. Yeah. No, you're not talking about those black women.
I've seen the soft spoken ones. It apparently was a front because when they got mad, it came out.
Okay, so then you're talking about anecdotal again. You're talking about the isolated.
No, I'm talking about predominant. I'm not talking about anecdotal. I'm talking about predominant.
See, and this is exactly why we have the wars, because we don't need to do. It brings almost tears to my eyes for you to sit up here and down us like that and say that.
No. I'm not talking about all.
You said predominantly. You're perpetuating.
Yeah, look. No, that attitude is predominantly with them. I didn't say the majority of black women. The attitude is predominantly with them. Okay, I'm gonna give you another one. I don't need no man. Who says that more than any other woman in the nationality of women? Who says that? Who says that?
Are you seriously going to sit here and act like that was not cultivated in us?
That's what I'm saying.
Systematically put in us to think.
Yes, I agree.
Why are you blaming us? Then re-educate. If you know it was a systematic design to divide the black family, to take the man, to demasculate the man, to take him out of the home, to masculate the woman, to make her the leader, to do the role reversal, to put it on. If you know that, then why would you sit here and beat us down while we're already down?
I'm not beaten down. I educate all the time. I talk about it. I educate about it. I talk about it all the time. Guess who pushed back? Guess who pushed back? Guess who pushes back? The one that needs the help. They push back.
Why? They push back. Because it's the manner in which the way your deliverance is, just like right now.
Have you heard me? Have you heard me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you, brother.
No. You're not hearing me talk to a person that needs. Do you need it? Do you need it?
Yes. Period.
Okay, you need it. Then
I need every education that's going to help uplift me as a black woman, help me uplift the other black women. No, what you're telling me now is predominantly look what you see, and and it's perpetuate. It's the deliverance. It's how you're saying it. Mm-hmm. It's in a derogatory fashion. It doesn't sound like it's coming from a place of concern.
Okay. And first of all, this is not one of my sessions. It's not one of my therapy sessions when I'm dealing with the effects of slavery. I've talked about that. I've talked about that many a times. The problem is that those that need to hear it push back. You can't bring it to them sweet. The defense goes up and they're not trying to hear it.
But you do it for them light bright counterparts. You change up your whole tone for them.
No. I'm talking about the therapy, the discussion.
You
I
can
don't
bring
have
it.
this discussion with white women.
You can bring it up in a pleasant manner, in a way that we can receive it in a holistic
Who is
way.
more pleasant than the Rasul Muhammad Sallallahu? Who is more pleasant than him? Okay, didn't they try to kill him? Didn't they speak ill of him, men and women? Didn't they try to
Yes.
poison his food? Didn't they lay thorns on his path, throw trash on his front step? This came from
Yes.
people that he was so nice to.
Yes.
So being nice isn't always the cure, sister. Some people are just not open for it. I fear my son that I told you about in Georgia is going to be raised homosexual. He's going to be raised a bit beta. He's going to be raised bitter. He's going to be raised to say my father was not there for me. It happens. And it's not me. It's not me. I would take my son and won't ask for a dime of child support.
Right.
I would fly the mother in and her husband with hotel for visitation. I just want to raise my son. I want to save my son.
Now, where I have an ex-husband who my youngest 16-year-old who apostated, took her, let her come out of clothes, doesn't pray.
Mm-hmm.
Her mind to want to, to be of the dunya now. I have
Okay.
my babies out going across seas, having her in hijab, making her. I taught her religion, taught her deen, taught her the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, taught her how to pray. I fulfilled my duties as a mother. But when you have that father's love, when he told her, he said, you know what he said? He said he was cursing at me one time, and I would tell him, stop cursing at me on the phone. I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to have those kind of conversations. So I said, you know what? I always sheltered how he behaved from her because I don't want to put her in that war. That's not her war. I would always say, you respect your father no matter what. That's your father, blah, 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 and back and forth. So I was thinking he would do the same for me. Not the case when they're bitter.
Not
It
in the apostate.
doesn't just happen to men. He told that little girl, he told my daughter, because I put it on speaker real quick and he was in the middle calling me a name because I told him, stop, I'm going to let your daughter hear you're talking to me. I don't want you to talk to me like that. Now, was I right or wrong? Indifferent. I made the choice. Bottom line is he told her, he said, you know what? You want to take your mother's side? I'll start a whole new family. And that's the only child he has.
Yeah.
Married 11 years. How would you tell a child that? So she wants to do anything. And if you know anything about a father and daughter bond, mother's love is always, it's just like, it was one time he told me this too. One time I was tired and I was in the kitchen and I was doing something, right? And he was in the basement, in the studio, whatever. The baby started crawling to the basement store and I yelled out his name. Hey, get the baby. She's getting ready to come to the stairs. Come up and get her real quick. I'm in the kitchen doing something. He said, nah, you'll get her. That's your nature. So bottom line is mother's love is always secure. They know it's not going nowhere. Mm-hmm. So she knew that Mom, you already gonna be there, but I'm gonna go ahead and run after daddy and do what daddy wants because I don't want to lose daddy's love. He said he's gonna start a whole new family. Imagine a psychological warfare on her. Now you got her back in your grasp. Now you're bringing her in with the dunya. You have to pay for that. But your men are not the only ones that have to go through that. So, just because it seems like y'all go through it majority of the time, women, we go through some serious issues as well too with their children.
Yeah, I understand that. But what I know about the murtadeen, those that reject Islam, the signs are already there. I've seen them with Arab clothes. I've seen them, at the masjid, this and that, calling everybody else deviant, and end up rejecting themselves. So I'm not impressed. I know, I know the signs. I know the mentalities. You have to embrace the deen and stop following personalities. Because once you get tired of hero worshiping and worshiping personalities, worshiping sheikhs and scholars, when you get tired of that, the thing ain't gonna be fun for you no more. When your little clique and your little group get mad at you about a little something and boot you out, you're gonna leave Islam. It's all kind of different things. There's drugs. There's all kind of lifestyle type deals. I mentioned something about a guy said, "I'm a Crip and a Muslim. I'm a die Crip," and people actually attack me for condemning that. So I'm not interested in people. I'm interested in the deen.
I think the problem was with that one, and I'm gonna just jump on that really briefly. I think the problem of that was you can't blame the leader because I think if I don't correct me if I'm wrong, You said the leader is the leader. It was the
Now,
leader.
whoever gave them dawah needs talking to.
That's not necessarily, and we're not gonna have to go up. That's a
Yeah.
digression, but I don't really think that's. I agree to disagree on that one right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, my shahadas are methodical. I make sure they understand the deen. We have meetings, we have talks. I don't rush them into shahada. I don't rush them. I make sure they don't just do bobblehead when I'm talking. They actually have to regurgitate and reciprocate, and I make sure they understand the deen. So then, they'll know.
You're not the changer of. You're not the changer of hearts. So if he does something that triggered
No, no,
him,
no. I'm talking about my duty as a da'i. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about that when I make sure they understand. This guy that was talking, he seemed like one of those Walmart shahadas, the kind you buy off the shelf.
Seem like.
Not a lot of information about Islam. He became Muslim, because
it might not have been his teaching. He might have had a really good. He just might have went back into bubble.
Well, you had to be there for the conversation. It was a over hour-long conversation. You had to be there for the conversation. I'm telling you that's why I said that. And the people that didn't hear it, that didn't hear the conversation, they opined. They gave their opinion. They opined upon it. And I said, you weren't there. You know what I'm saying? This guy knows you're supposed to die in the state of Islam. He said, I'm a die Crip. Now, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect there.
Absolutely.
The severity. The severity. Like I say, I heard the whole conversation. But nevertheless.
I don't know about the leader, it being his fault or somebody teaching.
Well, the one that gave dawah need talking to, because the part that's missing that people didn't grasp is the one that gave him dawah, the one that gave him shahada, has a better audience with him. That's my point. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't talk to the Crip. I would talk to the one that's nearer to his heart. That's called usloob. That's style. That's style, usloob. So I would get him to talk to him about dying in the state of Islam versus dying in the state of Criphood. You know what I'm saying? That's all the dynamics. Sometimes I'll make a statement. If you don't see the the dynamics of it, you'll focus on, oh, you're saying the person that gave him dawah don't know what he's talking to. That wasn't the whole conversation. The conversation was that perhaps the one that gave him dawah is close to his heart and has a better audience with him.
Up a clip, we can only get what you put up.
But
you can only speak to what I know.
I understand. But a lot of times, I've made statements that have like double entendre. They can be taken, two different ways and things like that. Triple entendres. So, and instead of seeing good in it or seeing a positive, somebody they jump all the way to the negative because, that's what space they're in, right? Then I'll explain it. They'll say, oh, So that's the issue. But nevertheless, you have proven that in this discussion, you've proven that how a woman measures, majority women, how they measure the next comes off of their ex experiences. You know what I'm saying?
How did I?
No. In the conversation, you said perhaps this. Like I said, brand new relationship. If a man put down his phone at the wrong time, it can trigger memory. We're human beings. We're better than computers. We store that stuff.
No. But you're not gonna corner me in that position.
Well,
because what I no. You're asked the question.
Okay.
When you get in a marriage, should you bring in old baggage or come in?
Well, should you make yourself vulnerable? Make yourself vulnerable in order to save your new relationship.
To a degree, but there are boundaries. And my point to all of this, before you even get to that phone being put down and she's looking at it, the due diligence wasn't done. If that's happening, I don't think it's done because I think the signs of her carrying baggage from a past relationship will be present prior to marriage.
I don't think you can compare the whole marriage scenario, which is living together, with knowing somebody prior. I don't think you can do that. You can't put a person prior to marriage through every situation. It's impossible.
I say every situation, but
that's what I'm saying. You don't know how people will react.
So then this brings me back to my even earlier point. You need to know yourself well enough to know what you would accept and what you won't accept. And from that, you formulate some kind of criteria of a checklist of what you're looking for in in the person you're looking for.
You'll never find anybody that fits every. You'll never find anybody.
I'm not saying all the way. You're missing my point.
Okay.
So a part of it, at some point, if you know you want a woman that can cook, at some point you're gonna find out the kind of meals she can make. Let's start talking about food and let's start developing those ideas. And you're gonna kind of see, is she a basic microwave chick cook? Is she the basic three entree meals, or can she throw down in that kitchen? You might not know what it tastes like, but you can have a general idea of what her skill set is. And just the same way with her mentality, just by conversation, just by scenario.
How much conversation and how many scenarios can you bring up to a person?
How many you want?
Hold on. A person says that if I was in this situation, I would have done this. You know, I hear black people say, I said it myself. If I was living during slavery time, I would kill everything white moving. That's my mentality. I'd rather die than be oppressed. No, hold on. I said this, but I wasn't there then. So people always talk about hypotheticals and scenarios. I'm saying that.
I'm not talking about that. Let's try this. I've tried this before. How about I read a confrontational book, get you to read the same book. It doesn't always have to be just read a book. Read the same book as I'm reading, and let's have a dialogue about that book afterwards. Something that's going to generate conflict. Let's see your conflict resolution skills. I want to get in your head. I want to know how you really think, because there's certain things that you're going to say. You can't hide it forever.
Where does the wali fit in all of that? You're trying to read a book and conflict, and how does the wali fit?
How does the wali fit?
Yeah, where does the wali fit in all that? If he's just there for the marriage and you do all the due diligence, you know what happens? Women are not fit to do it. They're not fit.
You can always find a way. You can always find a way. You can always find a way. Just because I read a book and he reads a book and we come down and have a discussion, okay, there can be a third party present. I can have somebody. If I want a gentleman to come sit in my living room.
No. You're still analyzing. I'm talking about the wali's job. I don't care if it's a third person there, a third person on the phone. That doesn't matter. You're still doing the work of the wali. You're analyzing. The wali's job is to analyze. A woman can't analyze a man. They can't.
He can analyze and give me his best opinion.
Well, let him read the book with the man, not you.
He can analyze. No, he can analyze and give me his best opinion. No, at my age, it might work for some others, but no, I have to have a general, and I trust my wali. I trust him to a degree, but I still like the marriage. That's just like basically you telling me you're arranging it for me, and I have a duty to accept. I can choose to accept it or not to accept it.
That's true. That's Islam.
Not forced on a woman. So in order for me, my criteria, in order for me to be able to, I have to have some sense of knowing him. For me, I'm not going in blindly. Okay. I'm not up anymore. I'm not, let's live in a shoebox and we can make it. No. I need to have some kind of say. And I believe if I'm right to some degree, I'm not a virgin anymore and I've been married before. So I'm able to have these interactions. You know
the difference between a thayyib or ayyam woman or a divorced or widowed woman versus non-virgin versus a virgin's silence can be taken as a yes. Her smile can be taken as a yes. A woman who's been divorced or widowed, she has more say. She has more say, but she still has to have a wali. She still has to have a wali.
I'm exercising more say.
Yeah, more say, but then. I've been in situations like that with women that were not virgins. I was there wakil, and they said, I want to marry such and such. I said, no, he's a drug dealer. You can't marry him. And they fired me and did what they wanted to do. So that's what I'm saying. A woman having their own say if they don't let the wakil or the wali do his job, that's an issue. But again, that's another subject to be had. The
You
next
know what?
sub-
And those little girls like that and those young women like that do not show that they have the emotional intelligence to make those decisions. Their wakil needs to be telling them and guiding them back to etiquette class, back to emotional intelligence class, and preparing them, telling them you are not ready for marriage, you are not suitable. If you don't know what to look for and you don't know what to ask for and you don't know your rights, you're not suitable. Let me help you become the woman you're supposed to be, or help you get ready and prepare you properly so you can manage a marriage, so you can help,
I
cultivate a.
understand that, but this is not just with young girls. This
Well,
not
older
this not with young. What you just said about how you would get him to read a book and how y'all would read a book together and y'all would discuss the book, and the wali has to have a role in that, and he can't just be the one on the phone listening. Or
I
you tell the
know,
wali to read the book also. You know what us men? Hold on. You know what us men can do?
what?
Us men, us men can go before you marry the guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's say if I was your wakil, right? Let's say you
Mm-hmm.
want to marry a certain guy. I would tell him, hey, there's a conference in Chicago.
Right.
Book your ticket. Let's ride together. Let's fly together. We can get a rental car. We're gonna spend the whole weekend together. I, he's stepping out, talking on the phone. He just, I'm gonna bring back a report. I'm gonna bring back a report. Like for instance, I'm gonna answer the phone if my wife. I'm gonna answer the phone, and I'm gonna talk to my wife. If I want to say something, make the juice with her, then I'm gonna walk outside and make the juice. I ain't gonna make it in front of him, but I'm gonna let me take this call, step out. I'm gonna watch all the behaviors that I know as a man are suspect. I'm saying are suspect. You know,
And
so so,
I
so
got
then I'll come back and report to you because that means I traveled with him. We stayed at the same hotel in the same room together. You know, I would bring that report back to you. Okay, and that's how it works. But me just being on a three-way phone call or going on a date with y'all, that's not how you get to know a person.
now it's more to it than that for
Yeah,
me. I don't
yeah,
more depth for me, and it
I
doesn't
know.
require have to be lusty. It doesn't require have to be sexual. It's way more than that. It's up here. First of all, I'm sapiosexual. And I want to know your intelligence. I want to know more about what's going on up inside your mind. And when I talk about the book, that conversation, how he acts with you, like men sharpen men, like steel sharpen steel. Of course, you're going to be able to give me a good assessment about the character as a man as a whole, but you will never be able to tell me about the interaction between a man and a woman. That kind of connection.
That
You're
Brother Isa Muhammad just said, is she belittling the role of the wali? By your statement right there, is belittling the role of the wali. Men know men. Men know
That's right.
men. Women don't know men. I told you, if you ask a woman, what do men want? Women start to define what they want. That's not what men don't want. What women want. You know what I'm saying women should want men, and men
I
should want
I
women.
know what I want as a result of being in his
I
presence or with him.
Yeah, but you don't know what men want, right? So when you say still sharp and steel, men know men. That's
Right.
why the wali or the wakil role is so important. When a woman
Right.
thinks she can do that role,
No, I'm not saying that. That's not what
okay,
I'm saying.
okay. But
I'm
but, but you're saying you can find out something about that man that a wali couldn't.
right from a woman's perspective. That would, if it suits me, if I want to be a part, like just because you might be
Okay,
gung ho, I might not be for a different reason for a
okay.
woman.
But you can I can say he's a good brother. You can say no. But if I say I don't think he's a good brother, and you say, well, he fits all my criteria.
Now, I wouldn't do that. I don't
Well,
think that's. I
well,
don't.
it happens. It happens.
I, well, I don't think that's healthy. Then I don't think that you should have a wali if that's the case.
Well, you gotta have you can't get married without a wali.
Well, you shouldn't have that one then if that's the
Yeah.
case, because first of all, that's my problem. If I was feeling like, oh my gosh, all the signs are right, blah 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 blah, but my wakil was like, nah, sister, that for me, that I might be sad, and it's happened to me. It's already happened to me twice, and I just let it go. because I trust that. Why put him in that? Why is he in that position if you're not going to adhere to it? That's just for me. I don't know, but
Yeah, the wali can be wrong as well.
person, now hold on. Now, if he got with him and everything was all good, but I felt something like, nah, I'm not going with it either, because ultimately it boils down to me.
You know what happens with the virgin? Let's say my daughter, right? One of my daughters. Alhamdulillah, I have daughters, mashallah. But I have sons too, but I have daughters. I'm proud of that, mashallah. So, but the issue is that because I have daughters, I can make a decision for my daughter, and she'll look up to daddy and say, Daddy, is making a good decision on my behalf because he loves me. He's my protector, you know.
Right.
But for a woman that's ayyim or thayyib, she's divorced or widowed or what have you, that type of woman, at the end of the day, she's going to make the majority of the decision for herself, as per the hadith, right? She's going to make the majority of the decision for herself. I can only advise her, and I'll also throw out, I'll throw it out that, hey, listen, the caveat, I'll throw it out. I'll say, look, I see some things as a man. You say that you good. Okay, then be good. I don't want to hear you blaming when it doesn't work on me. Okay?
Right.
I don't want to hear it because I have had it blamed on me.
Right. No,
I was a witness at a wedding and it was blamed on me when the brother didn't want to be with the sister no more. I was just a witness.
He'll have given your decision and your recommendation or lack of, and she goes against that, and she has a right to do that if that's her choice, then the consequences of that marriage are not on you at all. That's a choice that she made. So any big girl, they pull up her big girl drawers and deal with that. That's how I feel. So no, I don't side. No, I don't side with that at all.
Alhamdulillah, I think that we have not necessarily reached a conclusion, but I think that through the discussion, we could people can understand, men and women, brothers and sisters can understand whether or not it is healthy to keep your guard up, whether or not you should make yourself vulnerable in order to save your next relationship. That previous man, that previous woman is not the same as your next. Your ex is not your next, and that you can put up your precautions, you can make your demands, your recommendations, and all of that. At the end of the day, you don't know that person. You could talk to them for 5 years before y'all married. Kafirs live together, function as married, and get married, and it doesn't work. So the issue is that the getting to know, as far as Muslims get to know their deen, get to know all of that different thing. Muhammad sallallahu married 3 Jewish women. Now, why would he marry 3 Jewish women? Because he's Muhammad sallallahu, there's a thing called khawasahi. Khawasahi means exclusivity to him. Exclusivity to him. Muhammad sallallahu, if he married a woman, they had to take shahada. That was one of the prerequisites before he did so. But he married 3 Jewish women. Why? To neutralize the tribe. It was taboo for the father-in-law to fight the son-in-law. So Muhammad sallallahu married those Jewish women. They took shahada. The tribe of the Jewish tribe and the Muslims became family. Okay? And they did not war with each other. So you say, well, why did he marry for deen? He was advancing the deen, guaranteed. He was advancing the deen. And a lot of times that, if a Muslim brother comes and says, like I say, another discussion for another time, but Muslim brother comes and says, there is this Jewish woman that I met at work and I want to marry her, so on and so forth. We've already cracked the books on this. We didn't listen to opinions or tapes or videos. We actually cracked the Arabic books, not even translated to English yet. We cracked those books, and we found out what was the parameters for muhsanat. So again, the issue was that we did that and we found out the parameters. So the brother comes, he say he wants to marry a certain woman, say, oh, these are parameters. Does she fit this? Yes, she fits that. Okay, he marries her and then she says, I want to be upon what my husband is upon. And she becomes Muslim. You know what I'm saying? That is a woman's nature. That is a woman's nature. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is the issue. Kafirs been through stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So they come into this new relationship with a Muslim man. They have high expectations. They have high expectations. They don't expect to go through none of that stuff they went through in the past. And they have high expectations. And they also want to follow in the footsteps of their husband. They also want they want to know what the husband likes to eat. How does he like this? How does he like that? they try to find all that out to make this man, you know, to put him in cement, basically, so he ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And this is the issue within itself. A lot of times with Muslim women, you get that type of resistance. And that resistance is from what? I got treated this way by the last dude, and this dude ain't finna do that to me. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, saying in saying that, a lot of the Muslim brothers are watered down and are using religious text, religious ayats to like bring these women in to deceive. It's a deception. They're coming in with an agenda to bring. They want this worldly looking woman that you can have half her breast hanging out. You're not talking about some old godly Jewish woman or Christian woman that be in the church or in the choir, going to Bible school. No, you're talking about the one.
There are a lot of thoughts in church, though. There are a lot of thoughts in church. I went to church until I was 9 years old, and I passed by church sometimes on Sundays.
For me, the thoughts. They want the thoughts. They want it because men are visual. Women want to hear something, want to see something. So they see what they like, and now they want to convert her. Now women are attracted to power. They're attracted to intelligence. They're attracted to leadership, money, all of those things that make a man bravado and things like that, height and all of that. So they're using all of those tools to bring this woman in, and then with this religious and something they've never heard. So now it's interesting. Now you think you got somebody to know some knowledge, and he don't really know nothing at all. He probably ain't really part of the community all like that. He probably hadn't been in the mosque yet or been part of anything active in God knows how long since last Ramadan. Probably the last time anybody in the community seen him. You know what I mean? So, but she don't know that.
You painted a whole scenario right there. That's too specific. It's too specific.
Hold on. No, it's not, because we went specific today. So I'm gonna have
no. What you mentioned was real specific to a certain brother. That's not what you find generally.
Yeah, what? Come on, brother.
Can I ask you a question?
You talk about thoughts, and I'm talking about the brothers that locally.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah, you're talking about those guys. Where you live, there's a high concentration of terrible Muslims. There's a high concentration. There's not.
I don't live in Philly, so I can't speak to that. Okay,
you're close.
Well, that's over there, but I can say there's a high concentration of terrible Muslims there. I've seen it, and also in other places, not just.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
That brother that works with that Jewish girl, okay, she became fond of him. She inquired about him. We don't have girlfriends, we're married, you know. And she says, well, how can I marry you? He said, well, you got to meet the qualifications, so on and so forth. So again, they start talking on that line. Hold on. He's wrong. Hold on. He puts her in touch with sisters that know the deen. He puts her in touch with the masjid, so on and so forth. I've seen it happen. So what happens is that, long story short, if they do get married, that's a marriage. Now people will say, oh, we should have married her. There's a lot of Muslim sisters, so on and so forth. Okay, now a brother from online. I'm saying just let's deal with just Facebook, okay? Because Instagram is off the hizzy. I hear I'm not on Instagram, but nevertheless,
I don't really mess.
Check it out though. Snapchat. I don't know if they still have Snapchat. I heard about it a long time ago. But nevertheless, what happens is this: go on, and we're about to end this show. I apologize, but go on any sister's page. Go on the brother's page. Okay, the sister is covered on one. Maybe her profile picture is covered. Every other picture, she's in the club, she's drinking, she's whatever, or she's just not covered on every other picture. Okay, but when that brother marries that sister, nobody says anything. Nobody says anything. But they would rather you be with a fasiqah, somebody that's in the deen, knows the deen, that doesn't care for the deen, that doesn't practice the deen. They rather you be with somebody like that than somebody that say, hey, I want to be married to this man. They rather put you through that.
Situation that you just painted right there, I say go for the woman that's really striving to learn this deen, that's going to support her husband, and that's going to be really a good, righteous woman for her. Not just because you throw on a Shayla in one picture and then you sopping it out in the next, and you're not really going to support your husband. No, that's not what it is. That's not what it is.
It's a lot of that, though. It's a lot. Look at your Facebook friend requests.
I got too many. We're so malleable, like we said, but you know what it is? We're so trying to please this man. We're trying to please this man instead of being secure in who we are and secure in our femininity and secure in our womanliness, and let him be attracted to us and seek us out. We're so busy we need to raise the bar so that they can raise the bar, because the higher we raise the bar, he gonna jump to get across that bar.
The women need to raise the bar?
Huh?
The women need to raise the bar?
Absolutely, to raise their standards. Absolutely, because they raise their standards. Absolutely.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
Absolutely. So that brings him up to be a more of a righteous man. It causes him to be more of a righteous
man. Women can't raise men.
I'm not saying raise men. I'm not saying raise men. But if it's in him,
it's potential?
No, I'm not talking about potential. I'm just talking about what's in the man that's in him. Yes, okay, maybe I am talking about the highest manhood, manlish man in him. He needs to be that person in order to be able to have her.
So the woman can make him that person?
And she can make him that person, but as long as she does not concede to his whims and give him whatever he wants, he's going to keep aspiring or keep getting better.
Okay, what's the start scenario? Because I said that the brother goes online, he sees the sister in hijab. Sometimes the profile pic is no hijab, then you'll find one hijab pic on the page. It's a lot of different scenarios, but it's a lot of it going on. Sisters twerking on video, all that kind of, so the brother sees the woman, he's attracted to her, she's Muslimah, he's saying perhaps I can help her start practicing the deen. So he's thinking about bringing her to the practice of the deen. Now, they prefer, the sisters don't condemn that. You might, but the sisters don't condemn that. But to condemn the brother that might want to bring the Jew over to the deen through his character and his husbandry, that brother could have married a sister. They got a lot of sisters out here.
That might be some part of him. First of all, because he just don't want a thought wife out there as a Muslim. Obviously, he ain't gonna walk around with a thought wife if he calls himself a Muslim.
So why does the Jew has to be a thought though?
I'm not talking about her. I'm not talking about the Jew.
Okay. Talk about the thought.
He's the thought. But see, he wanted the thought for thoughtish reasons, because he had a thoughtish mentality. Because that would not have really attracted him to even want to make her away. It was a lust that attracted him initially.
But some of them brothers don't want to marry. Some of these brothers have sworn off kufar. They say, I would not marry a Jew or Christian woman. I will only marry, and they'll marry a thought Muslim. A thought Muslim.
But it didn't turn off his desire to want big booty Judy. It didn't turn off his desire to want twerking Taina. Okay? It did not turn off his desire for her and lust for her when he see her walking down the street. But he doesn't want that as a wife. He wants that in the bedroom. He don't want that as a wife on his arm.
Well, I'm talking about marriage.
You're not listening to me. So he's going to try to convert her and make her into a Muslima.
No. See, you're talking about kafirs again. No, I'm talking about. You're saying convert her to a Muslima. Okay. If she's already Muslim, she just doesn't practice the deen. Okay. He's saying I don't want to marry a kafir, so I'm gonna marry this Muslimah, who just as naked as the kafir. I'm gonna marry her because ain't nobody gonna criticize me for that. So he marries her, because I don't marry. I heard brothers say I never marry a Christian, but they go through this. They go through worse or the same thing. With Tatiana.
How do you get to consider? I don't consider that a man. Why do you get to consider that a man? Women are
he's a man biologically.
But that's it. By structure, that's it. That's not a man.
Yeah, but a man being attracted to a woman is not considered less of a man.
Okay.
A man marrying a Tatiana is not considered less of a man. He's less guided.
Okay. So you can make all the allocations and the permissibilities for a man, but when it comes down to a woman,
the permissibility is in Islam.
Huh?
The permissibility is in Islam.
But when it comes down to a woman, she's either this or either that. There's no room. Where's the 7 excuses for her? Okay, where's his cleanup time? If he truly wanted her, he would start with protecting her, helping, showing her to protect her reputation, teaching her about adab, teaching her to take. If he really cared about her, see, like you said, women are malleable. If he was good at his
No, they
job,
should be. They should be malleable. They're not. There should be.
if he was good at his job,
You can't blame it. You can't blame that on a man.
you're not even gonna let me finish. If he was good at what he does and good at his job, he would be able to educate her enough that she would want to take those pictures down because of sincerity in him. Because of, let me tell you, when a woman is into a man, ain't nothing.
You know how many sisters? You know how many sisters?
Nothing that he can't ask for it. I'm telling you.
Do you know how many sisters that I didn't marry and didn't want to marry who I got to take down their uncovered pictures? Quite a few. Quite a few. But guess what? Guess how I did it? I just reminded them of Allah. I reminded them of Allah. Bi'idhnillah, they took the pictures down. It's a few of them.
Then you gave them something to respect.
No, but it wasn't about me though.
It's about Allah ultimately. But you were the vessel to talk to them.
Yeah. But that was the dawah. It wasn't me. It was me giving them advice.
But the dawah could have came from somebody else, and it wouldn't have been received because it had to do with your character. You gave them something to respect.
You know what's dangerous? You know what's dangerous?
These men are. You know what? Let me tell you another thing is. It's the man's fault why women are calling themselves bees and everything else.
That's men's fault?
Y'all allowed it. We will do things. We want to be accepted. We want to be liked. Why do you think we put on those little things, those little clothes? We know what we look like when we go out the house. It's to attract your attention. You made it seem like the bee thing was something acceptable. We used to be called queens, but then you start letting us calling us
the queen thing is terrible.
Hold on. Start calling them bees and stuff like that. So my bee right here is bad. My bee, this, that, and the third. And we thinking that's cute now. Y'all allowed that. Y'all perpetrated that.
You talking about Kafir, hip hop men, right? You're not talking about Muslim men.
Back and forth. I'm just the general idea of women being malleable to men's desires.
Okay.
That's the concept of the umbrella, the malleability of women under the guise of the man's leadership. How much influence he has if he's walking in his role appropriately. That's the problem. You don't want us to be the leader because we can't really. We're not supposed to be. Well, you don't want us in the forefront because that's really not our natural role. But you're not stepping into your role efficiently, but you want all the rights inherently. And that's where the problem comes in, because we as women, you're a degree above us, but not by intellect.
Okay? Yes, it is. Intellect too.
Anyway.
Intellect is part of it. Intellect is part of it.
Anyway, I reserve my rights to speak on that because I don't have enough knowledge to speak on that Islamically. So I'll pull back from that. What I'm saying is,
I can give you a hadith on it, but
okay, alhamdulillah, and I'll do my due diligence to look it up and But anyway, but it's not going to take away from my point. My point is, we're wise enough to see that y'all are not walking in your roles properly. And there's going to be some counter. That's nothing in life. You can't even walk without friction. You can't progress without some kind of counter force or friction, period. And when you guys drop the ball on your leadership, then ultimately you are misguiding us. So we are the result, the way we are is because of your misguidance as Muslim men.
That's a system. Islam has its own system. We're not in control of this system. So the ills you see in this society is because they try to empower women and tell women that you can be the authors or the captains of your own destiny. They tell women that, but women are not equipped for that. It's not in their nature.
And Muslim men, you need to go in and counter that and figure out a way that you can come back and revamp that system. Because
we try.
Allah has given the Muslims the reason the condition of the world it is the way it is today. The reason why it's in its the condition it is today is because the Muslims dropped the ball. So as leaders, you want that leadership so bad, so the inherent leadership role so bad, and pick up the reins and do what's required as leaders. And that's going back and educating these men in this community. 200% murder rate now. It's only in March in Philadelphia of our young boys compared to last year. Where is the leadership?
Well, that's the 100 frogs. The 100 frogs in a dirty pond. You can clean every frog one by one. As soon as you let them go, they go right back to the pond. The pond is dirty. The pond is dirty, but everybody's going to heaven. That's a problem. Alejandro Perez, he said, wouldn't this depend on your culture and experience in Jahiliyyah? Some cultures can accept the Wali Wakil screening, but some backgrounds require more due diligence if they were brought up a certain way. Any woman in my family, or the women in my family, I guess he's trying to say, would have some trouble just accepting the screening of the Wali if they accepted Islam because of their upbringing. So he's saying that the baggage, which is another dynamic, the baggage that came from Jahili keeps them from trusting the Wali or the Wakil to do their jobs efficiently.
It to re-educate them and show them the beauty of it. Mm-hmm. Whose job is that to re-educate? You see the problem, but I'm not hearing the solution.
You're not hearing it from me? I give the solution all the time. Well, I give the worldwide solution. I give the local solution. I give the individual solution.
Okay, then where's the implementation? That not just you. I'm talking about in general. Then, if the solution's there, where's the implementation?
I don't have the leadership to make anybody, implement. I can only give nasiha or advice,
right?
and make sure my own are guided, inshallah ta'ala.
We got to start with our own. First, we've got to start with self, and we got to start with the closest. Save yourself and your household first.
Yes.
That's where we got to start at. And
charity starts at home is a very Islamic statement. You got to take care of your home front first.
Make sure we're creating productive Muslims and Muslims out there, and then everybody we come encounter with. We also, if we have an opportunity to give that knowledge to them, then we should be doing that as well too. And I think that's how it's. We just got to keep doing it. It's it's not a problem that's going to be fixed overnight, but
the next topic, brother Akili Nusi, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm sure it's of African import because he's all about that. But nevertheless, the next topic is settling. Settling. Lowering your standards, settling. That's the next topic. That's going to be 8 in the morning because he's in Kuwait. So I have to do it 8 a.m. Sunday.
Oh, I'll be in Egypt, and I don't know if I'll be available.
Yeah, so that'll be 8 a.m. on a Sunday.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So what does it mean Islamically? Because the Kufa have their own definition of settling for less. We need to bring out the Islamic definition of settling for less. And what does it mean when Muslims say, I settled for you? I don't think a man should make a statement like that, being a leader. But I would expect more of women to make a statement, I settled for you. Because they only get one shot at one husband. A man is not limited to one wife. So I think that would be a statement a woman makes because the other guy may have been beta with more money. And they married the alpha guy, or so on and so forth. So again, we want to talk about it, or vice versa.
I think it just sounds like they compromised on some of their desires or needs or something, and just.
Well, we're gonna list seven qualities in a man that a woman would desire as a Muslimah, right? Okay, and we will list 7 qualities in a woman, and that's not all the qualities. Well, we have to put a cap on it. We can't just go 100, right? So again, just like you said, you made 99 questions for a man, potential husband. Brother Amu Yusuf that comes on the Amu Yum Yum podcast with me, he got 100 questions. He sent it to me. He has 100 questions that he would
I
give
do.
to a potential wife. So again,
I'm
like I said, we're gonna list 7 qualities that a Muslim I would look for, 7 qualities that a Muslim would look for, and we're gonna do
okay.
that, and then we're gonna like chop it up, inshallah ta'ala. You know what I'm saying? So if you have the time, you know,
Hmm.
might be something you might want to opine on, and I'll let you speak.
I'm
Subhanallah, I'll let you speak.
ooh, not those. I'm gonna have it ready for you next time.
Okay, inshallah. So, well, I think we beat that horse and we gave birth to a new one. So,
Inshallah.
inshallah. So,
I
I appreciate you coming on, sister. Not many people are brave enough to come on with me like that.
appreciate you having me. No, I'll get in it in with you. Now you're gonna have me out here looking like a disobedient woman. I'm playing. I ain't worried about that. No, but
I'm not overly coarse or overbearing. It's just that if you make a statement I disagree with, you know,
oh, man.
I want to jump on it.
All
But
right,
I'll try to reserve myself better next time, inshallah. I'll jump on you after you finish your statement.
uh, yeah. Let me get a sentence out at least, please.
Subhanallah. Well, I appreciate you
So
coming on.
I
Thank
have
you.
done, huh?
Thank you, Shukran Jaziran for coming on. You know,
Right.
like not many
That,
people would, so I truly appreciate you, and I hope to have you back again, inshallah. Hopefully, you
that
represented the sisters well.
Daddy wants to say hi.
Okay, mashallah,
Come on in, Dad. Come on,
mashallah.
come on in and say hi to the good people. Come on in. Mashallah. Salam alaikum, Abu. All right. Look. Say salam alaikum right here. Come on. Can you see? Right here. Look at me. Look. All right, y'all. Salam alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, akhi.
They're saying like salam alaikum, Daddy. All right.
All right,
Mashallah.
inshallah. Well, I'll talk to you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa
And
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
having me on. Appreciate it.
All right.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum
Rahmatullah.
salam.
Yeah. Yeah. Having a good evening. Would you?
So alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. We kind of veered into some different topics, but I think we touched that one enough. I think, again, my opinion that a person should be vulnerable in a relationship. They should marry someone with taqwa, someone that believes in Allah and His Rasul Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I think that they should look for that in a person, uh, and I think that they should trust in Allah Ta'ala. And when it comes to tying your camel, of course, that hadith is weak, but the matin, the meaning of it is Islamic. You know, the meaning of it is sahih. The meaning of it is sound within other Islamic texts. The meaning. But the hadith itself is weak. But a person tying their camel is not going in looking for red flags, but to go in and to live naturally, like Muhammad Sallam used to do with the people. He lived naturally with the people. He didn't go in suspecting people to be ill from the jump. He lived naturally with them. If they showed some ill intent or ill behavior, then he acted appropriately toward them. But as Muslims, we should, we should always be of those people. You know, we should always be of those ones, be of those people that go into new situations knowing that we're dealing with a new individual, inshallah ta'ala. You know, new situations knowing that we're dealing with new individuals. And we should not go in harboring past behaviors. Is the sister calling me? SubhanAllah. I can't answer the phone right now, subhanAllah. But anyway, I guess I'll end it there. Inshallah, all mistakes are from myself. Any truth that I told is by the mercy and grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I appreciate you all viewing. And hopefully, inshallah, we'll increase the viewership. People can benefit from it. And feel free to correct me on anything that I've said wrong. Some of it is opinion. Some of it is from Quran and Sunnah, which is not debatable. So May Allah Ta'ala bless us all and keep us safe and upon this deen and guide us upon the Sirat al-Mustaqim. The Sirat al-Mustaqim that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was upon, the Sahaba anhum were upon, the Tabi'un were Tabi'een anhuma were upon, and this is the path to Al-Jannah. These are the exact facts. And thank you for tuning in to Faktly. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.